The Prime Minister celebrating a $19 billion deal. Signed in Quebec, but part of a national ambition. European giant Airbus will sell to AirAsia 150 planes designed and built in Canada.
Thank you for the trust you're placing in Canadian workers, in Quebec, in Mirabel. You're choosing the best at exactly the right time.
The deal opens up a whole new market for the A220 jets.
Today I can say we really are married. We really are together now.
This order is a massive vote of confidence.
The government didn't broker the deal, but it fits Mark Carney's plan to diversify trade away from the U.S.
Our country has twice the rate of investment, foreign direct investment, than the United States, adjusted for the size of our population, twice the rate.
Canada just landed a huge deal that could change the airplane industry forever. A giant airline deal signed in Quebec is bringing big jobs and money to Canada's aerospace workers. But for the US, this is a major blow because Boeing once again failed to stop Airbus from taking over one of the biggest battles in global aviation. Malaysia's AirAsia placed an order for 150 latest generation A220-300 aircraft, the largest single firm order ever placed for the A220 program, propelling the program beyond the 1,000 firm order milestone. Prime Minister Mark Carney and Quebec Premier Christine Frechette were present at the ceremony alongside Capital A CEO Tony Fernandez and Airbus Commercial Aircraft CEO Lars Wagner. The deal was announced in Mirabel, the Quebec city, where every A220 is assembled, a deliberate choice that underscores exactly what this order means for Canadian aerospace workers and the Canadian economy. AirAsia is a new customer for the A220, and the airline also becomes the launch customer for the aircraft's new 160-seat cabin configuration, an increase of 10 seats made possible by the addition of an extra overwing exit on each side aircraft. That launch customer designation is significant. It means AirAsia will be the first airline in the world to operate the A220 in this new higher density configuration, establishing a commercial precedent that other low-cost carriers across Asia and beyond will evaluate as they make their own fleet decisions in the years ahead. The A220 complements AirAsia's existing Airbus fleet and will play a key role in advancing the group's network and growth. The aircraft will service destinations across ASEAN and into Central Asia, freeing up larger aircraft to fly longer routes. The strategic logic is straightforward and well executed. AirAsia has built its business on high-frequency, high-density operations across Southeast Asia's enormous and growing travel market. The A220-300's combination of range, fuel efficiency, and operating economics makes it capable of opening thinner routes, city pairs that cannot justify a narrow-body A320 family aircraft while simultaneously allowing the airline to redeploy its existing larger fleet on longer international sectors. It is not a replacement strategy. It is a network expansion tool that multiplies the destinations AirAsia can serve profitably. Tony Fernandez described the decision in terms that reflect the commercial discipline behind it. We have built AirAsia by making bold decisions at the right moment, not the easiest moment. This order reflects our long-term discipline and the scale of our ambitions. The A220 unlocks new markets and routes and brings us closer to building the world's first true low-cost network carrier. The aircraft itself warrants examination because its specifications explain why an order of this scale makes commercial sense for a carrier operating in Asia's competitive low-cost environment. Combining the longest range, lowest fuel consumption, and widest cabin in its class, the A220 is the most modern airliner in its size category, carrying between 100 to 160 passengers on flights of up to 3,600 nautical miles, approximately 6,700 kilometers. At the end of March 2026, 500 A220s had been delivered to 25 operators worldwide. The fuel consumption advantage is the economic argument that closes deals in the current aviation environment. Jet fuel costs represent the single largest operating expense for any airline And the difference between flying a fuel-efficient modern narrowbody and an older, less efficient platform compounds dramatically across a fleet of 150 aircraft operating multiple sectors per day. AirAsia's existing fleet is predominantly A320 family aircraft, already among the most efficient options in the single-aisle market, but the A220-300 brings a different efficiency profile specifically for routes where a 160-seat aircraft is the right size. The seat mile economics on thinner routes favor the A220 precisely because you are not flying with empty seats on segments that cannot fill a larger aircraft. Lars Wagner, CEO Commercial Aircraft at Airbus, stated, "The A220 will provide an optimal platform for AirAsia, combining low operating costs with the range that will enable the carrier to open new routes across Asia and beyond." For Canada's aerospace sector, the Mirabel ceremony represents something that extends well beyond a single airline order. The A220 is assembled exclusively at the Airbus facility in Mirabel, Quebec, a facility that employs thousands of workers and sits at the center of an extensive Canadian aerospace supply chain. Every A220 delivered to AirAsia's fleet will be built in Canada. The 150 aircraft order, delivered across a multi-year schedule, translates into sustained production demand at the Mirabel facility, job security for its workforce, and continued economic activity for the suppliers, component manufacturers, and service providers that support the program across Quebec and across the country. As with all Airbus aircraft, the A220 is already able to operate with up to 50% sustainable aviation fuel. Airbus aims for all its aircraft to be capable of operating with up to 100% SAF by 2030. That sustainability credential matters increasingly in the Asian aviation market, where airport regulators, government aviation authorities, and corporate travel buyers are applying growing pressure on carriers to demonstrate emissions reduction commitments. AirAsia's selection of an aircraft already certified for 50% SAF operation with a roadmap to 100% positions the airline favorably in that regulatory and commercial environment. The A220's milestone of surpassing 1,000 firm orders with this single announcement also tells a story about the program's competitive trajectory. The A220 originated as the Bombardier C Series, a Canadian-designed, Canadian-engineered aircraft that Airbus acquired in 2018 when Bombardier could not sustain the program financially against Boeing's political and commercial pressure. Boeing lobbied the US Department of Commerce to impose nearly 300% duties on C Series aircraft sold to American carriers, a decision that was later overturned, but not before the financial pressure had forced Bombardier's hand. Airbus stepped in, rebranded the aircraft as the A220, leveraged its commercial relationships and sales network, and has been growing the order book steadily since, reaching 1,000 firm orders with the AirAsia deal providing the final boost across that threshold marks the A220 as a commercially established program with a long production future ahead of it. The aircraft has operators across North America, Europe, and now Southeast Asia in significant volume. The diversity of the customer base reduces program risk and sustains the economies of scale required to keep unit costs competitive. For the workers in Mirabel who assemble every one of these aircraft, the 1,000 order milestone and the 150 aircraft AirAsia deal represent years of production work ahead. Prime Minister Carney's presence at the Mirabel ceremony was deliberate framing. Canada is competing on the world stage in advanced manufacturing and high technology aerospace, and an order of this scale, the largest in A220 history, announced at the Canadian production facility by an Asian low-cost giant that will deploy the aircraft across one of the world's fastest-growing aviation markets, is the kind of evidence that supports that argument concretely. 150 aircraft, the largest A220 order ever placed, the program's 1,000th firm order, all assembled in Mirabel, Quebec. Canada built that aircraft, and Canada will build every single one of them.